Namaste, deepest love and blessings. Welcome to April. Have we all survived March, or are we still in the washed up space? Are we washed up March like madness, crazy magicians? Because March was like out of this world stuff. So hopefully you all watched my March vlog because I gave lots of tips about surviving March. And I think the biggest things were surrender and flow. If you were resisting all the changes and challenges and fogginess and trying to force things to happen in March, you probably had a pretty difficult time. You probably felt cranky or things weren't working out the way you wanted to because you were still trying to maintain some sense of control. And ultimately, March was a real trigger month for us this year. It was very foggy. We have had Mercury retrograde, and then, it was just a crazy, crazy month. It actually feels like eons ago to me now, and it's only the 2nd of April, but that's how it feels to me. I sort of was in a weird time warp. I pretty much came out of March unscathed because every time I, expected something to happen or wanted something to happen and then it didn't, I just literally flowed with it. I was like, yep, no worries. There was a lot of throwing my head back and laughing like the Buddha and just looking at the cosmic joke that was March. And I felt like that's why I gave the big tip around March, because that was the best thing to do, was to literally laugh it off and to understand that when you resist flow and you resist surrender, as much as everyone says, oh, I'm in flowing and surrender and allowing, it really showed you in March if you really are that you say you are. So let's not talk about March again. It is over. It is done. We are now moving into a really epic April. Okay, so it is massive. And massive in a different way than March was. March was foggy and slippery and very Pisces heavy. And whilst we still have Mercury in Pisces, and Mercury doesn't move out of Pisces until around April the 18th, where then he will move into Aries. Venus is also in Pisces, but she is exalted there. She loves to be in Pisces. So this is a very divine, cosmic, yummy time of love and union and meditation and sort of opening the heart to love. So opening the heart to love, but not just the love of a person, but the love of the universe, really dropping into deep trust and dissolving into deep trust is probably the best way to put Venus in Pisces. It's about dissolving all that you are. Now, with all of this Mercury, Neptune is in Pisces and Venus is now in Pisces. This is the end of the zodiac. So we are actually transgressing into Aries with Mercury and Venus, the middle and the end of April. So this isn't like a typical Aries month. You've probably already felt that. Personally, for me, I'm feeling pretty magical, man. Yeah, March just feels like a lifetime ago now. And all of a sudden I've got some energy back. Like I feel reinvigorated, rebirthed, like I feel free and I don't feel that heavy drowning. March felt like you were underwater, like someone was literally freaking holding your head down underwater and you were trying to talk and you were trying to see and you couldn't see anything and everything was foggy and everything was weird. And even within that, there can be surrender because I surrendered while I was bloody down there, but I'm so over being drowned pretty much. So I'm now not drowned and I feel like vibrant and fresh and real and like doing all the things again, which is really delicious. And that's just 2 days in. But we're moving through some very big sort of portals this month. Firstly, the month itself is a 7, so which is the 4th month in a 3-year. So of course that equals 7. So this is all about change. Okay. One of my mantras I've said is change is required, growth is inevitable. Because this month is a big month of change, and not only are we in a 7 month, and that is about change. 7 represents spiritual growth, but it's also a 7 energy is very much about introspection and, truth. It's a lot of internal forces, a lot of internalizing things. I've written here, it's the internal inferno, because A 7 is sort of like an extraction. It's sort of like Pluto in a way. A seven in numerology can often be called like the Mack truck because it can feel like that's what you've been hit by. So interestingly enough, we get this 7 month after we've just been through such a big, like many 333 portals in March, plus everything else that happened in March. Lots of reawakening, reestablishing, and recalibrating who we are. Now we move into that in April. The 7 energy really gives us a chance to spiritually deepen. Where are we? What's going on in our lives? Look around. My questions here are, what do you really want? This is a time of reevaluation, especially while Mars is still in shadow, moving direct, but still in shadow. So there's this energy of, what did you learn about yourself last month? One of my favorite quotes I've got many, from Wayne Dyer, our spiritual father, is when you squeeze an orange, what do you get? Orange juice, right? So when the universe squeezes you, what do you get? And in March, you were squeezed, you were triggered, you were pushed, you were forced, you were pulled, you were, squished and spun. And what happened? That's the question to ask. What happened? What came out of you? Yeah? So only you know that answer. And so now we come into this very spiritual month of change. And of course, liquid crystals, the month for April is zircon, which is life changes. So if we're thinking we can't take any more, yes, you can. And yes, we will. 2019, as I have shared in my 2019 overview on my podcast, Tiani Talks, I've shared about the special energies of 2019. They are big, they are grand. And like I have said for a year, 2018 is the prequel to 2019. And I think everyone's actually getting a taste of that now. Everyone thinks that as soon as the clock turns over January 1, it's a new year, new me. It's like, no, new year, new work, new year, new you doing something different, right? You're the common denominator. So this month is epic, okay? But in a very different way, in a very, what I feel it's going to be clear, like things are becoming clear. And I explained this, I don't know if I explained it last month or where I've done it. I do so much, I forget where everything goes. But ultimately, one of my favorite Zen proverbs is, when muddy water left sit becomes clear. And I say this to so many of my clients, because often when people are in stuff, they're doing this, splashing around. Oh my God, this needs to happen, that needs to happen. I need control of this. I can't let go of this, motherfucker, right? A bit of motherfucker, yeah? People are splashing around. That was pretty much March, really. Unless you stand still and let the mud settle and everything becomes clear. So when muddy waters sit, it becomes clear. Things are becoming clear, and they will become clearer and clearer and clearer this month. It will become clearer who you are. It will become clearer what you want. This is a time of reevaluating. In April, we reevaluate. There's another very huge thing that I'm going to talk about, but this is about reevaluating. Look at your life. Are you happy? Not happy as in the means of what everyone describes as happy, not this eternal search for happy, which can look all these different ways. It can look like an Instagram filter. It can look like a house. It can look like money. It can look like a good job. It can even look like a good relationship, because things aren't always as they seem. And that is what this energy is about. Look deeper. Are you really happy with your life? It is time to reevaluate and reintegrate new things. If there are things that are out of alignment that you are still holding on to, things that do not serve you anymore, this is the time to be letting them go. We are literally being shown and invited astrologically with the South Node, which is the past, which represents the past. So the South Node of the moon represents the past, old karma, okay? Pluto, hell. Kaipacha said it perfectly. At the moment, the gates of hell are open. I love that. because it actually goes really well with what I have been sharing for a long time and banging on about. Face the truth or the truth will destroy you. And when Kaipacha talked about the gates of hell are now open, because we have the South Node, which is the past, which is old karma, Pluto, which is hell, death, rebirth, transformation, and Saturn, karma, they are all hanging out all month together. This week in particular, Pluto and the South Node have their conjunction, and at the end of the month, Saturn and South Node will have their conjunction. But the thing is that the energy is here all month. Okay, and what I'm saying is that astrologically and divine orchestration is that we are literally moving away from the past that we have known. We are moving away from all our old past selves, past behaviors, past patterns, habits, attitudes, excuses, bullshit, stories. The universe is literally closing these gates, closing these doors, closing the karma. So what are you going to do with that this month? This is a time of complete purge, complete. Let me look at my notes. I haven't even looked at my notes yet because, you know, I'm diving straight in because it's so exciting. This is purify, purge, powerful cleaning out. The South Node, we are emptying out what no longer serves us. And to do that, we need to reevaluate our space, reevaluate our vibration. What do we allow into our lives? Because the biggest thing is that, you know, people can have drama and old stories and all this chaos constantly. But my sentence is always, what you allow will continue. So there is a means of saying, I will not allow that behavior in my life from myself or from other people ever again. We are literally in April, we can close karmic contracts, clear karmic decks for good. If you have the courage and the bravery to go there, to show up, the universe can do nothing but reward you. The biggest thing is this urge to escape, to want to escape reality, to want to run away from yourself, which you cannot do. And in these times, if that's what you are doing, it will hit you very hard. I am not going to lie. April isn't going to be sunshine and roses. There is progression, forward movement, absolutely. I mean, I think change is sunshine and roses, to be completely honest, but that's my chart. I have Pluto in my first house, the 8th house stellium. I love change. I embrace change. I'm all about the transformation, baby. But if you don't have a chart like me, which not many people do because our charts are very unique to us, the thing is that this is going to bring up old stuff, old trauma, old patterns, old habits. Hammer. I'm saying hammer because it feels like Thor. You know, Thor's just coming down like with the lightning going, right, change or be changed, evolve or repeat. And it's even deeper than that. It's not just evolve or repeat, it's evolve or be destroyed. We are being given such a grand opportunity in April to move past the past. Totally. And that's what's exciting. The South Node is the past. Pluto is rebirth and death. And Saturn is karma. So it's about closing old contracts, releasing, you know, it's like the whole cutting cords thing, right? I don't know if you regularly cut cords, but it's a very great practice because people take on other people's energy, which when you're really solid, you don't, but people do, right? So it's about cutting the cords to stories, people, activities, behaviors, all these sorts of things, right? Another one of my favorite astrologers, Kelly Surtees, says that this is a time to declutter your soul. And I loved that. I thought I'm actually going to say that. I don't often share other people's stuff because I channel it all myself, but then I had already seen this and I was like, oh, I like that. Declutter the soul. This is a time of deep soul work. The phoenix is rising, but we must walk through the fire to rise. We must become fireproof. That's what this energy is about, is us becoming fireproof. Pluto is hell. Pluto is the underworld. Pluto is the death of the old. This is looking at the graveyards of all of your old selves. And are you ready for that to be final? That's the biggest thing. It is your choice. It is not by chance that these things happen. It is by choice. And ultimately, astrologically, we are being given like a written invitation. Here you go. The past no longer exists. And if you are still playing childish behaviors with the past and having all the bringing up the stories of 1 year ago, I mean, sometimes I struggle to even think about 1 week ago. And that's what I mean. Like even talking about March, I'm sort of like, I can't even go there because it's gone. It's literally like the universe is saying, this is it. And I shared something last week on my Facebook, and it's about ascension and the fifth dimension and even the sixth and the seventh, you know. It's all here now. I'm letting you know that this is all isn't going to calm down and everything's not going to go back to normal, like your old normal life. The energies have accelerated and lifted so much that we have to move with them. We have to meet this new world. And for some of us, we have met this. For some of us, this is what we have been working toward. For others, it's a big shock. It's like, wow, I just want my life to go back to normal. But that doesn't exist anymore. The old paradigm is closing. It's like literally like a complete, if you looked at like a vortex and an energetic vortex and just watched it get smaller like a stargate, and it gets smaller and smaller and then it's gone. Then it's nothing. That's pretty much what's going on at the moment. 2019 is incredibly powerful, incredibly potent, even and 2020. So we've got another big 18 months of hugeness, but this is the new normal. This is us meeting the new energy. And the only way to do that is to meet yourself over and over and over again with truth. Not running, not hiding, not, scurrying away and waiting for it all to pass over, because that's not what's going to happen. We are in new energies. We are in new vibrations, and we are recalibrating. So it can be a little bit clumsy. That's cool. That's cool. I mean, March was one fucking month of clumsy, right? But the thing is that this energy now for April is going right. Close the old doorways, close that vortex, close that stargate, and turn around and see your new life in front of you. Release the old karmic patterns, release the old karmic contracts. And for some of you, that's going to, especially with Pluto there as well, like there can be old traumas come up for them to heal and for them to be released. With Saturn there, it's old karmic contracts, and if you do deep work, you can sort of have a look at where that's playing out. Maybe it's with a certain person that it's time to close that relationship. This is a period of, it's a period of, it will be cathartic and very healing, but it's also what I'm feeling very reckoning. It is like the reckoning. That is what is going to come up. And when we've got zircon being the crystal energy of the entire month. I mean, hello, you can't make this shit up. This is all aligned, and it's a 7. If I was to say that, like give crystals the numbers, of course zircon's a 7, man. Zircon is a 7. This is 7 energy. This is all about change. Yeah, it's all about truth. And that is being, these are the 2 mantras. Change is required and growth is inevitable, but it's face the truth or the truth will destroy you. That's the main one. And I've been saying that for over 12 months. And when I listened to Kai Parcher and he said that right now the gates of hell are open, I was like, this is face the truth or the truth will destroy you. If you are hiding from yourself, it will surface, because you can't run from the truth. You can't run from who you really are. This is a time to be brave. It's like a dark room. Turn the light on. Have a look at what's there. This isn't a time to suppress and repress things and hope. That word, no. Not hope, do, take action. We can't hope things will go back to the way they used to be. We can't hope the situation will change. We can't hope that person will become different. We can't hope, we can't hope, we can't hope. It's about facing the truth, and Saturn and Pluto are conjunct. This is it. We're building to their exact conjunction, which is January of 2020. They're only a few degrees away, but look at the energy that's happening. So this is about the truth, facing your own truth. Now, look, this isn't under, I have a lens of light, I have a lens of love, and I have a lens of joy. But I also am an awakener. I'm also about the truth. And astrologically, this is actually what's going on. Of course, there's a million other things going on as well. But this to me feels like the most prevalent thing you will need to know in April. Change or be changed. Let the change come from your hand, from your consciousness, from your awareness. Yeah? We are here to meet this new normal, meet this new ascension. Yeah, I've just said the old karma can finish up, seriously, and it's time to give up control and let life have its way with you. Bend, don't break. And then in like huge letters I've written, the past is over. And it is about bending and not breaking, because we have to be flexible. Life changes. You know what zircon is? The sand. Watch sand dunes. They just constantly change. They are not staying the same. The wind moves them constantly. A light breeze, the water. Life changes. That's the only thing that we can guarantee, is that life changes. This is a time of power, stepping into your power, and you will be reaping rewards for the power and for everything that you have sown. It's sort of like everything's coming up, all old karma, whatever you have been seeding, all over the place with your intention, with your words, with your actions. It's the day of reckoning. It's the month of reckoning for us to empty it all out like a pressure cooker, empty it all out and be clean, squeaky clean. It's like a well, deep, deep into the well, the hell well. We go deep down, and what's still buried there? What is buried needs to come up. No more repression, no more suppression, no more denying, no more hiding, no more denying and no more hiding. The truth is here, and if you do not face the truth, it will destroy you. That I can guarantee. Now, it's about taking responsibility for our past. Very much so. That's Saturn, taking responsibility for the life that you have created. Everything around you is from your own creation. Yeah, that's just the way it is. We are the creators of our life. So have a look around you. And this is where I'm saying is the question is what do you really want in your life? Because you're creating it with every thought, with every word, with every action, with every feeling, with every intention of the heart that you live every single day. You are creating exactly what you receive. Remember Wayne Dyer, I'm going to quote him again. You're back with the quote queen here. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. That is the thing. It is about your vibration constantly attracting what you are vibrating to. It feels like a very big release and a very big purge this month. So there it is. That's the biggest part of the month. Yes, we're in a 7 energetic number, numerologically. We're in zircon. Let me read a little bit of zircon to you because I think that this will be good. Zircon is an amazing crystal of change. Zircon activates a trust in the self at the seed of its work, which blossoms into an embrace of change without fear. The past is forgiven and released. Oh, of course, I had to go to that sentence. Opening all the potential paths forward. The mind is then cleansed, and the many parts of the self unite to become one with the single goal, to grow through change with acceptance. As a spiritual development stone, zircon increases the intuition and sheds light upon the areas of self still to be explored, so the journey of life can continue and the path to higher enlightenment is discovered. Change is at your doorstep. The changes are usually presented by zircon are the ones that have been long awaited. They are always life-altering experiences from which one grows both inwardly and outwardly in the world. The most exciting thing about zircon for the month of April is that it can often and it can be representing the last part of your change after the fear, after the pain. It's that last final bit, which is really amazing. Zircon is also a great communication stone, brings focus, determination, forgiveness. Yeah, it's like one thing is for sure, with zircon present, things are about to be very different. This is April. This is every April. Every April is zircon. But every April we don't have a 7-month, okay? Every April we don't have the South Node hanging around in between Pluto and Saturn all month, okay? We don't have that. So this is the added layer to this month, and that's why it's such a dynamic month. It's a very dynamic and exciting month. Zircon life's changes always permeate all levels of the self. They are holistic, yeah? Some of the words are, ancient worlds, Atlantean lives. If you feel trapped in the past, zircon can help you move through the past to really integrate these new changes that are happening. So the other couple of things that I want to mention, that's what I wanted to spend most of my time on, and I'm going to keep it short and sweet today because, that's sometimes to the point and that's all we need. We do have a new moon in Aries. Now, this is going to feel like, a real birth, like we're really birthing into this new astrological new year, because although we have had our Libra full moon and our autumn equinox or spring equinox if you're in the north, and we had the sun move into Aries, yes, that was the beginning of the new astrological year, but for me, it really always feels like it's the first new moon of the astrological year, which is the 5th of April. So I feel like that's when it really starts to get moving. This is a time of seeding new things that you wish to grow into abundance, seeding new things with determination, with laser sharp intention. And that's why I ask you, reevaluate your life. What needs to be let go of? What needs to be dismissed? What will you no longer allow in your life? And to be honest, I would really take time in doing both of these processes on the Friday, while the moon is still dark and waning, and that is why it has still felt like a very purgy sort of space, because we haven't entered this sort of new phase yet of the moon starting to wax and grow and build, right, to her fullness, which is actually the 19th of April. And this is where she is in Libra again, the real, which is called a blue moon. So a blue moon in the sign is 2 full moons, both in the same sign. So we've just had a Libra full moon, we'll have our Aries new moon on the 5th, and then we'll have another Libra full moon. So interesting that this month really feels about weighing up things, looking at your life with truth, with precision. What stays, what goes, what karmic contracts are to be released, what old karma with myself have I had enough of? Whether it's the bullshit stories that you keep telling yourself, that you can or can't do something, whether it's the relationships that you're having that are still unsatisfying, but you keep hoping your partner will change. You keep just seeing past and keep wearing those rose-colored glasses. And Neptune is, Neptune's a big play this week. Mercury is on Neptune this week. So there are the illusions, whilst there is the beauty and the unity of Neptune and Mercury and even Venus moving closer to these guys too. And there is this a sense of union and oneness and divine orchestration and, being just so highly attuned. I don't know about you, but March for me, my intuition was just like spot on constantly with everything, with tiny little things. Even when I was pulling this card out of the 77 cards I've got to go through, I got told, go to the back, it'll be 3 in, and it was 3 in. Like, it's just holy shit, man. Like, everything is so attuned at the moment. Like, all the veils have gone. Like, we're talking about, oh, the veils are thin. No, they're gone. We're here. We have ascended to this new place. This is what we have been preparing for. These are the times of our lives. We are what we have been waiting for. And when people go, oh, what does that even mean? Everyone says it. Well, if you don't know what it means, you're not feeling it, because it means something, and you will know when it means. You will know what it means. You will know that this is the time. You will know. Because when you know that you're the one you've been waiting for, no longer are you seeking scraps of external validation. No longer are you seeking external stimuli to fill you up. So when people question this, people say you're the one you've been looking for, that doesn't even make sense. Yeah, it does. because it's you and it's always been you. And these times that we are in, 2018 through to 2020, it's showing you over and over again, self, 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 come home to self, call off the search, stop seeking outside, stop giving other people all of your power. And this month with all this Pluto and South Node and Saturn, it will show if you still do that. It will show if you are still giving external stimuli, external places and people your power. Because you feel empty. You know, that happiness seems like it's something outside of yourself and it's not something that is within you. This is why I'm asking you to reevaluate your life in April. Let go of what no longer serves. And if you do that, and if you're brave enough to do that this month, it's the time to do it. We have the South Node urging us to do it. Release the old contracts, release the old karma, clean your karmic debt. And I've done this several times in this lifetime of complete karma being banished. I mean, I have Saturn in my 12th house, so that's what I'm here to do. But the thing is that it still reignites for me this month. I'm still going to be working with it because it's happening in my 4th house. So, you know, I know where all of this energy is happening for me. I know what the theme is, right? So know thyself, be brave, be brave. Mastery of self is what this energy is all about. Okay, so anyway, like I said, this new moon, it is going to feel like a real birth, like a real fresh start. And you want to plant really realistic seeds. And like I was saying before, I would urge you to do a letting go while we are in the purging, while we are in the waning phase of the moon. So before she is new, which is like after 6 o'clock at night time here in Brisbane. 6:30, I think. Don't quote me, but it's later. So in the morning, you could do the burning off the dross, letting go, purging, releasing, writing out what isn't serving you anymore, having a look at it. Be really honest with yourself. Is this marriage serving me? Is this serving me? Is this serving me? Or am I just scared and I'm holding on because it's comfortable? Because there's far too often that's usually the answer. It's comfortable. It would be too hard to leave. It would be too hard to do that, but that's the energy that you're being urged into. So I would do the releasing, being really honest, and then I would move into this whole new paradigm of this whole new astrological new year, which is going to feel really, really bright, and it is going to feel very fresh. Mind you, we've still got some, we've got some straggling energy from friggin' Pisces still playing around. Once we come to the end of April, the sun will move into Taurus, and we've gotten, we haven't gotten what we usually get out of an Aries season, but that's okay, because what we are here receiving is exactly what is necessary, and it's exactly what is essential. So I would then be planting my new seeds. What am I going to create? What does my new life look like and feel like if I was to merge into it, if I was to become one with it? Yeah. The thing is that the moon's actually making a hard aspect to Saturn, and Saturn is that responsible, disciplined, tenacious father. Okay, so he's actually overlooking these moon things, these moon seeds that you have, and this new moon in Aries, going, is that really what you want? We've got to think Aries is the beginning of the zodiac. So this is literally a fresh start. But what are you really asking for? This is about being grounded and anchored in. Saturn's asking you to be very realistic with your dreams. Be very realistic. If things are a constant struggle and you are struggling to do something in whatever it is, your work or area or whatever, but you're still wishing and hoping that will be okay, Saturn will come and say, no, it is time to restructure that, lay a new foundation. That is what this energy is all really about for me. I'm really feeling that it's this real lay a brand new foundation, guys. This is the time. Uranus is in Taurus. It's shaking up things big time. We've been having wild weather. Hello, Taurus, the earth, Uranus, chaos, sky god. It's all already happening, and it's just the beginning. So I would urge and encourage you to really dive deep into April, because you will be plunged into April anyway, with the 7, with Zircon, with the changes, with the growth, with the truth, with Pluto excavating out the truth, letting the subconscious and unconscious surface for it to be revealed, so that then you can take a breath and go, wow, okay, that wasn't as bad as what I thought it was going to be. Find your inner alignment. Choose happy, and if things are out of alignment in your everyday life, release them, let them go. This is a wonderful time to be having a daily practice, doing something every day that moves you into alignment with your calling, with your purpose, which is just you, by the way. There's no bigger calling and no purpose outside of yourself that isn't you. Your calling is you, to show up and be you. And that is what April is asking you to do. Now, they're the moons. The new moon in Aries will feel like a fresh start, despite that square to Saturn. The full moon in Libra, which is on the 19th at the last degree of Libra, again, it's all about balancing, harmony. Where are you out of balance? How are your relationships? This all has to do, Aries and Libra are opposite, and it's all about self and others. Yeah? What you project onto others, what you attract in others, how you feel about yourself, being okay with you. Yeah? And we also, just to kicker it, we've got Jupiter going retrograde early in the month, around the 10th or 11th. Saturn and Pluto both going retrograde later in the month. Again, just giving us, reanalyzing our beliefs, the way we transform, the way we purge. It's the time of breakthroughs. And again, it's taking responsibility. We've got Saturn and Pluto at the height of this month. And with them retrograding, it is a time to that they will slow down, go back over a few degrees of territory over the next, it's usually around 5 months. Don't quote me, but it's usually around that. To reevaluate those areas, to reevaluate them. So it's big stuff. We are beginning this very big portal in April, and I do feel like it's the perfect time to close gateways, to close stargates, to close those vortexes of the old that keep you hooked into past patterns, past behaviors, past activities, hanging out with the wrong people, doing shit that you know doesn't serve you, doing stuff you know isn't in alignment with what you really want to be doing. So it's all about the purge. It's all about the purify. It is the month of reckoning. It is a month of change at its greatest. Oh, I'm nearly in those colours. Well, that was an accident. No such thing as accidents. I wish you so much love. I wish you so much ease, and I wish you truth, and I wish you consistency. I wish you responsibility, that you have the courage to respond and then have the ability to move through what you're responsible for. I wish you love, and I wish that you go and spend time with the earth. If spiders come to you, which I don't want, but if they do, that is zircon. That is zircon. The totem animal for spider is zircon. It's a very big time of deep letting go. So I wish you well in this deep journey, and just think we're not going to have all the Pisces to drown us. It's deep in a different way. It's diving to the depths of our soul. It is. It's we're clearing out. We're cleaning up. We're high vibing. We're moving into this new dimension that we're already in, but we're meeting it. Yeah, we're meeting it. I could always keep talking for hours and hours, but I wanted it to be somewhat short, and I think 40 minutes is pretty damn good. So I wish you so much love for April, and so much change. Be open to change. Receive. Don't resist. And enjoy from my heart to yours. Namaste. Beautiful. Bye.